Hi, I'm going to do a makeup tutorial today for more mature ladies. So whether you fit into that category yourself or whether you want to help your mother or your aunties or your grandmother with her makeup, I'm going to do a really modern, simple makeup look that will work for everyone and include lots of tips. I have a gorgeous model today called Yvonne and she's beautiful. So I hope you like it. So I'm going to start by using Bobbi Brown Tinted Moisturising Balm, and this is light to medium. And the reason I'm going to use this is because it doesn't stick in any lines that you may have. You can actually put it on with fingers. I'm going to use a brush, but it goes on perfectly well with fingers. It's just like a tinted moisturiser. It has enough coverage to even out the skin tone and leave a really lovely fresh finish. And it smells quite good, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. I'm just going to go all over, and this you'll see that it's not going to emphasize any lines. It's super moisturizing. This is one of my favorite products to use on an older skin, and you can actually build this up quite a bit without having anything sit in any areas where we don't want it to sit, but we can kind of get a lovely even skin tone. Okay, so I've just put a bit of concealer on the back of my hand. I've used some of the Wake Me Up from Rimmel concealer. You don't want loads of light reflection under your eyes because it can look quite white as you're getting older, and you don't want anything that's too heavy. So I'm just going to use a very small amount, just where there's a little bit of darkness there in the corner. We don't need a lot around the outside. We need less than you think. So just into the inner corner and pat. Really smooth everything in, nice and moisturising again, and quite sheer, so it's not going to catch anywhere. So before I finish off any concealer, I'm going to use a little bit of blusher, and this is number 18, and this is one of the Miracle Touches by Max Factor. So again, a really nice dewy formulation, extremely sheer, so we can just melt that in with the moisturising balm. To give a little bit of a healthy glow, not too much. We're just going to kind of really blend that into the skin. Keep it looking very modern, so not just at the front here, but right up, so it's on quite a big area. We don't just want sort of two little pink dots there. So I'm just going to use a little bit of Vichy Derma Blend. This is number 25 to cover this little scratch here. So this is obviously quite a heavy product, so we don't want it anywhere other than just on the scratch here. This is great for just getting rid of anything that you want to completely conceal. You hardly need to use any. Your scratch is gone.
Thank you so much.
And then if you want to, you could put a little bit on one little mark there, just to soften those down, and one there. So keeping everything nice and dewy and fresh. Okay, on to eyes, and I think I'm going to use this Lid Smoothie by Clinique, which is a very easy product to use. You can apply it with fingers. It's not too shimmery, so it's not going to be sort of glittery. And I think this is going to be a great colour with your grey hair. It's a slightly mauvey, sheer wash of colour. And I think as you get older, you actually need more makeup around your eyes in terms of defining makeup than you do when you're younger. You know, people say, oh, I'm older, so I can't wear any makeup on my eyes. And I think that's the time to wear a bit of makeup on your eyes, because a little bit goes a long way. If you just use mascara even, or a little bit of liner, it's amazing how much more defined your whole face looks, how much more definition it gives. It doesn't have to be anything complicated. So that's a little bit of... I'm not going to go with anything too warm because it'll clash with your hair. It'll probably look orangey if I use a sort of golden brown or something. So we'll stick with these slightly cooler colours. So next I'm going to use this trio of eyeshadows called Cappuccino by number 7, and it's a mixture of a sort of slightly mauvey brown and a kind of flat brown. It's not completely matte. I don't mind a little bit of shimmer on more mature lids. I think it's quite nice, but I don't like very shimmery, and I certainly think if it gets, you know, metallic, it's not a great idea. It's just very simple. I'm using it a little bit darker at the outer edge here, And the main thing we want is no harsh lines anywhere. So just really keep everything soft. We don't want anything really, really heavy.
Yes, I don't want my eyes to look droopy.
No, exactly. You don't want to drag them down. Next I'm going to use a pencil, and I think pencil is essential. This is a dark grey by L'Oreal, actually. Just close your eyes for me, Yvonne. I'm going to do little circles just into the roots of lashes, because again we don't want necessarily a dramatic line. And then you can blend over that with a Q-tip, or even just smudge with fingers or whatever. This is a long-lasting one, so it'll smudge but then it'll set. And then if you look ahead, Yvonne, you just start to see it just gives that definition. It just gives, you know, the lashes look thicker, everything looks kind of healthier, but it doesn't feel extremely made up. It looks modern. It doesn't look like it's hard work, and it isn't. You know, just keep blending and keep it simple. And then underneath we want something very soft, but again a little bit of definition. If you look up for me, Yvonne, I'm going to put about 3 dots here. One there, a couple there, and one there, and then smudge in. Mainly just at the outer corner there, so you're getting a little bit of, again, a little bit of definition. So onto lashes, and I'd like to just give them a little curl, if that's all right, Yvonne.
Absolutely.
Look down for me. I'm going to just tweak up those edges just to really open eyes. Oh, it's made a huge difference. I'm going to use Organic Glam mascara. This is the black one, and this is a really nice mascara because I find it, look down for me, really stays on. Let's give a little wipe through there. Let's open for me, let's see. That's so pretty. So that's mascara on the top lashes. I'm not going to do the bottoms yet because we're going to let that dry, that mascara. I am going to do a bit of brows. I'm going to use the Suki pen because this is so subtle. We don't want harsh brows on a more mature face. We want something really, again, like the eyeshadow, something that works. It's defining, but it's not hard. Just to fill out the shape. And once it dries waterproof. And it doesn't smudge, which again is a nice bonus. And be careful of putting too much sort of here. It just becomes very hard very, very quickly. And then I'm just going to put a little couple of hairs there, but not many. And now the other side, same thing. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is put some mascara just on your lower lashes, if that's all right, Yvonne. Just look up for me. I'm just going to touch the roots mainly, and if you find that it transfer, you could try using a waterproof mascara and a nice small brush. So avoid the really big brush mascaras, because if your lashes are quite small, you're going to end up getting it everywhere. And then you can use a comb or an old mascara brush that you wash. So we'll come back to eyes in a second when that mascara is dry underneath. But let's do a little bit of lips. I'm going to use this lip pencil. This is by number 7. This is just the nude. Just to give it a little bit more of a definite shape, but without drawing a line, if you know what I mean. So it's defining those edges, but also blending in. Definition without harsh edges. Let's put a little bit, blend a little bit over the lips as well, as a kind of base. And then over the top of that, I'm going to use a sheer tinted lip balm. This will keep them looking nice and moisturised, but it's not shimmery, it's not too glossy, it's a modern stain, but again, it's got definition. We're just trying to avoid the Barbara Cartland effect here. Most people probably don't know who Barbara Cartland is, but if you Google her, you'll find out. We're keeping it modern. We're not going for the fuchsia pink lip liner. Okay, so back to eyes, and now that things are settling down there, I'm going to add a little bit more definition. So look up for me. Just going to put a little bit more pencil here, and I think sort of build up slowly as it's kind of settling in. I think just while you're, because I haven't done Yvonne's makeup before, but while you're getting to know your own how much you can take and what looks good. Just keep stepping back and looking in the mirror and adding a bit more if you need to. You know, it's better to put less on and then add more and, you know, evaluate it and look at yourself in daylight as you go along rather than going straight in with the full amount. Look up for me, Ron. Let's blend that pencil in there. Really soft and defining. And at that outer corner, make sure you don't keep going down because you really drag the eye down. We don't want anything. Where the bottom sort of haze comes in, this little smudge here, we don't want anything to sort of go underneath that. So keep that whole area nice and clean, and then a bit of definition on the top, and you can blend that up like so and smudge it. Still be nice and defining, but it just won't drag down those corners. I'm just going to add a little bit of bronzer. This is a Bourjois one, just to warm up, just a touch around the edge here. It's not a shimmery one, and it's quite sheer. Put it on nice and light, especially. Just warm things up and keep everything nice and blended as well. Okay, so that is a kind of nice makeup. That would be a sort of quite defined day look, or if you were going to a lunch with friends or something like that. But I think if you were going out in the evening, I know you've brought me your lipstick here, which is a tinted lip balm from Burt's Bees, and it's quite a dark red shade. So I'm going to put some of yours on. We're going to up the ante a little bit, so put a slightly deeper lip on for an evening. I think it's nice to have a bit of colour on your lips, as long as it's not too, you know, intense, like a really, really opaque, drying, sort of matte formulation. I think colour on your lips works beautifully. I think that, and a little bit of pencil, smudgy on the lashes, a little bit of mascara. This really defines everything. One last thing I want to do, actually, if you've used a little bit of bronzer or something to warm your skin up, and there's a tiny bit left on the brush, so not much, just look up for me. Just go under there. It just warms things up, because sometimes you can go a bit light under the eyes as you get older, because you kind of have, your skin can get a bit darker and this can get a bit white. So I always think that just finishes things off nicely. And I think, you know, the main points for me would be definition but without any harsh lines, so especially around the eyes, mascara, a little bit of pencil, get that kind of definition going. And when it comes to skin, never try and paper over the cracks, as you know, people say, because it just doesn't work. If you put heavy foundation on or something that's drying, it's going to sit in all the lines, it's going to emphasize them, you're going to make yourself look much, much older. And by just using something fresh and balmy that you can kind of work with and blend into the skin, you know, I think if anything, it's going to detract, it's going to bring light to the face, and that's what you want, really. You want that light and vitality and all of that.
I love it. It's just enjoy your lines.
Yeah,
embrace your lines and work with them.
Absolutely.
Because they're there. I love it. I'm really amazed. It's so good. Thank you.
Thank you.